Today on Dueling Dishes, the Latke Challenge, pitting Eli Sussman's traditional family recipe versus Craig Koketsu's upscale rendition.
My name is Eli Sussman, and I am a line cook at Mile End Delicatessen in Brooklyn, New York.
My name is Craig Koketsu, and I am the chef of Fourth Wall Restaurants.
My philosophy as a cook is just about getting people back connected with a couple quick, easy ingredients that taste delicious together.
My general philosophy is to sort of keep things simple, but then put a twist on them so that they're relevant.
Latkes are fried potato pancakes. It's a traditional Jewish dish eaten on Hanukkah.
My latke dish is based on a French fry dish that I used to do when I was a chef de cuisine at Les Menaces. Parmesan cheese, shallots, chives, and Tabasco.
This dish is very close to my heart because it's a recipe from the new cookbook that my brother and I wrote, and it is basically our dad's latke recipe. Anyone can make these latkes.
You guys are having like a great off.
This is like deep in the basement prep work right here.
I'm using my apron to squeeze out the potatoes. Liquid is like the enemy of crispness.
Well, then why are you, Eli, grating your potatoes into liquid?
Because I don't want them to oxidize, so instead of just grating them into a bowl and letting the air hit them, I'm gonna put them in water, and then I'm actually gonna drain them and squeeze them out like what he's doing.
When I grate the potato, I follow it by an onion. So the acid from the onion keeps the potato white.
Tell us what you're gonna do with the Schmaltz.
So the Schmaltz is gonna be the frying medium.
I have to say, this is like a big secret weapon for Jewish grandmothers
I
everywhere.
have to let you in on a slight secret. It is Schmaltz, but with a little duck fat. So we'll...
Eli, did you hear that?
Chef over there is going very high end with the duck fat, much more chef style, and I think I'm sort of like doing it like home style.
And that's where everyone first fell in love with latkes.
Exactly.
At
Yeah.
home.
Maybe if I had a Jewish grandmother, I could do that.
So then I'm gonna add my onions to my latke mixture, and that's not a lot of onion, but it's gonna give it a lot of flavor. The egg and the flour is gonna help bind it together. The thing that I'm gonna use the flour for is just kind of control the liquid from the potatoes. I don't want it too wet.
You kept the skin on when you were grating your potatoes.
Yeah, I just like the way the skin tastes, and it's also is a nice kind of contrast between the white and the dark.
If you get someone who loves latkes, doesn't have to be Jewish, talking about grating, there are lots of different ideas about the best way to do it.
You know, the box grater is just what I use because that's what my dad used. I'm not classically trained, so a lot of the ways that I cook is really like a home cook.
Let's catch up with what you're doing over here.
Okay. I'm forming up my latkes, and the thing is you want to get them pushed together enough where the oil doesn't like completely go all the way through, or else it'll just make them split apart. But at the same time, you don't want to pack them too tightly because then they'll be really sort of heavy. We want the starches to sort of fully hydrate and cook through, but we don't want to color it too much because I'm going to fry it again.
What? Chives.
It's gonna give it a little bit of color, so it's not just completely monotone. And it's also gonna give it that little bit of kind of like fresh oniony bite. So we've got two sauces today. One is really fall-esque, so it's a apple-based sauce. It's got some cinnamon and some clove. And then the other one is a sour cream and lox sauce. So basically just finely diced lox with some sour cream and a little bit of spice in it.
So you're transferring these to a paper towel lined baking sheet?
Just to drain the excess oil.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna actually put them in the freezer really quick just to cool down.
And what does bringing a cold latke to the hot pan do to the latke?
It gives the starches time to fully gelatinize, and with those starches fully hydrated, it allows the starches to get crispy.
You're like a chef scientist.
I am going to fry off a very, very miniature version of what I plan on serving.
So you're just using canola oil?
I'm only gonna use canola oil, yeah.
Yum.
Definitely want more salt
Yeah.
in them, and probably more chive. So that's like the perfect color that I'm going for right there. It's got a little bit of whiteness in the middle, and actually, me personally, I like the flavor and mouthfeel contrast between having really, really crispy bits and then having like a little bit of squishy bits in the middle.
What in the world are you doing with that poor shallot?
I'm gonna use it for garnish, and I'm also gonna use it for mayonnaise that I'm making over there.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't tell us you're making mayonnaise.
So this is Tabasco Mayonnaise. It's almost there. I think I actually need a little more oil. So I'm listening for a certain sound. You start to hear this slapping sound, and that tells me that it's at the right consistency.
So these are cold.
So these are cold, yeah.
Wow, that's the sound of frying, people. What's the trick to a really good fry, guys? Is it temperature, or is it the kind of oil that you use?
You definitely want the oil bubbling and rolling pretty hard, but you don't want the edges to burn. So if you see a little bit of smoke, like what I'm getting a little bit right now, I'm gonna lower the heat a little bit. And so this one is exactly where I want them to be.
It's beautiful.
So that one's coming out.
That's a nice looking latke. Actually, I'm getting hungry.
All right, Craig and Eli, we've talked a lot, but I think it's time to get to the judging.
All right.
Let's do it.
I would like you to meet the judges joining me today. Sarah Bray, a contributor to Saveur magazine, and Chef Andre Soltner, who needs no introduction. He's the Dean of the International Culinary Center, but also the chef owner of the legendary Latkes restaurant. Mitchell Davis, Vice President of the James Beard Foundation, and our resident Jewish cookery expert. He wrote the Mensch Chef cookbook. So, fellows, are you ready to feed us?
I am. So today for you, I've done latkes two ways, both fairly traditional. It's based on my father's recipe that he makes every Hanukkah. The latke on your left is a lox chive sauce in sour cream, and the latke on your right is a cinnamon apple sauce on top of a fairly traditional latke made with scallions, a little bit of flour, and some egg.
Really the cinnamon who dominates, yeah? Yeah, nice.
Sour cream lox sauce, you said there's also chives there?
There is, yes.
Is there any garlic there?
There's a very little bit of fresh grated garlic in it
No,
as well.
not at all. I don't really taste
But
it.
it's good, I prepare.
I like them thin and crisp.
They're really gorgeous.
This is basically something that I used to do with French fries. I didn't grow up with latkes, but I love potato pancakes. We used to do something where we'd incorporate shallots, chives, Parmesan cheese into French fries and just mix them up and eat them at the end of service. But it's meant to be dipped into the Tabasco mayo.
What are they fried in?
They're fried in a mixture of duck fat and chicken fat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is there any Belgian influence in this recipe?
Yeah, frite and mayo is like classic. So
This is a horse of a different color, Craig.
With horse in here?
Do you ever serve mayo with a latke? Traditionally?
Not at a Jewish meal.
As my grandmother would say, hell no. No. Chefs, that was delicious, and now we have a decision to make. So if you would excuse us.
Thank you.
Do they have ones like this in Alsace, Chef?
About,
Kind of like a
Yeah.
roasty, yeah?
yeah. It's really nice, crisp, you know.
The little zing in the Tabasco mayonnaise.
There's something to be said for mastering a traditional dish, and I think that Eli did a really good job. These were crisp, and they were light, and they were uniform, and they tasted really nicely of potato.
I liked the savory and the sweet aspects together on a single plate. That was really appealing to me.
The traditional ones resonate with those memories of the
I was
flavors.
sure you're going to say that.
But the less traditional one was really delicious. Onion and the
sauce
sauce.
very well.
And also that it was fried in the duck and chicken fat or schmaltz, I think, gave it a beautiful
The
aftertaste.
second one was very crisp. It looked better also on the plate.
So, should we bring them back in?
Yeah, I
We're
think
ready.
so.
Okay. Chefs, welcome back. First of all, thank you so much for giving us such delicious food. Eli, we really enjoyed your traditional rendition of the latke, and we especially loved your lox sauce. We love that you valued tradition, and we felt that you took something that's really simple and managed to make it really, really delicious. And Chef Koketsu, you're coming from a perspective of a person who really loves potatoes but hasn't eaten a lot of latkes, but we really appreciated the extra steps you took to make them really crispy by frying them twice and using wonderful duck fat and chicken fat and adding things like Parmesan cheese and Tabasco mayonnaise that we didn't realize could be great on a latke. So which way did we go? Innovation or tradition? Chef Koketsu. Congratulations, Chef.
thanks.
You have won the Latke Challenge on Dueling Dishes. So Craig, when are you having us over for latkes?
How about Hanukkah?